See my time's expired. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Senator Lee. Senator Coons.
And thank you, Chairman Durbin. Justice Montgomery Reeves, great to be with you again and to have a chance to have this whole committee understand exactly why you have garnered such incredibly broad support from our bench and bar, from our state's both legal and political community. I often talk about the unique nature of Delaware's legal community as a member of the Delaware Bar. You're an exemplar of that combination of character and community and excellence that I think has made our bench and our bar outstanding. It's not surprising to me, as my colleague Senator Carper referenced, that you received letters of support from both the majority and minority in our state Senate, and that you were in many ways supported in your career by the former chancellor, who was also the chief counsel to our Governor Pete DuPont and our Governor Mike Castle. That is embedded in sort of the history of the Delaware bench. As a judge on the Chancery Court and as a chancellor, and as a justice on our Supreme Court, what do you think distinguishes the Delaware judiciary? And why do you think your experience, your significant experience in writing opinions on these two Delaware courts has prepared you to contribute to the Third Circuit Court of Appeals?
Thank you so much for the question, Senator. I'll start with just sort of Delaware and the way things are in Delaware. Delaware is a small state and we're a small bar. I see the judicial officers, the lawyers who are in front of me, not just in front of me, but at my son's soccer games, at church, at the grocery store. It's a very small state where you get to know people on a very human level. And so you're able to I've been able to form very, very close relationships. In terms of the two courts and the makeup of two courts, the Court of Chancery, as you said, is made up of a vice chancellor, six vice chancellors, and the chancellor, who largely have significant corporate backgrounds and take very seriously, the work of that court and the business of that court. And the Supreme Court is made up of members who also, some of whom have a corporate background. So that's part of what goes into that, as you said. And with respect to the opinion writing, the benefit of that, in my view, is, number one, just an exposure to a broad array of subject matters and being able to think through, learn quickly new areas of the law, getting up to speed, and then writing judicial opinions on them that are hopefully clear and really explain to the litigants precisely what we're doing and why.
One of the other things I talk about as someone who clerked for the Third Circuit for Judge Roth is the collegiality of Delaware's courts, but also the Third Circuit. The collegiality of some of our federal circuits has been somewhat strained as a reflection of our national challenge in terms of our ability to work well together. I think it speaks volumes about your nomination that our Chief Justice, C.J. Seitz, is here, our Chancellor, Kathleen McCormick. I believe all of the vice chancellors, literally the Court of Chancery could convene if necessary. I suspect there's available rooms, if you wish to render any decisions here. And the Federal Bar Association, the Barristers Association, as well as the ones I referenced earlier, sent letters of support. How would you bring some of the collegiality that you've experienced on the Court of Chancery, on the Supreme Court, how would you bring that to the Third Circuit, and what contribution do you think collegiality makes to a circuit court?
Thank you so much for the question, Senator. I have been very lucky to have amazing colleagues. As you heard, our courts in Delaware are balanced. They're made up of no more than a simple majority of the two political parties, but none of that matters when you are deciding cases. You're supposed to decide cases on the facts of the case and the applicable law. And all of my colleagues, every single one of them, have always approached cases in that way. Sometimes our outlook is a little different, but we all have the utmost respect for each other, and we walk into a room willing to listen to and learn from each other. Sometimes we agree and are able to reach a consensus, unanimous decision. Sometimes we disagree and someone is able to convince me or I'm able to convince another person. Or at other times, we reach a third alternative that we hadn't considered before. We sat down and conferred. But the most important thing is that we recognize the give and take that's necessary when you're deciding matters by panel, and we have the utmost respect for each other.
Well, thank you, Justice, and thank you to the members of the Delaware bench who've traveled here to support you today and to your family. I urge my colleagues to support your swift confirmation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Senator Coons. Senator Kennedy.
Thank you.